3 days into the movement, as a new bhakta, one evening I saw a lot of people running hither and thither. There was a lot of commotion, and everybody was saying, Prabhupada this, Prabhupada that, and then I heard one person say, Prabhupada's coming. And I looked at one devotee and I said, who is Prabhupada? And that devotee told me, he says, Prabhupada is that personality that's come to deliver you from the material world. Well, right about that time, all of us new bhaktas, we got shipped up to San Francisco on the back of a flatbed truck. I remember thinking as we were traveling on the truck, I think, wow, join the Hare Krishnas and see the world. I had never previously been out of LA my entire life, and I joined the Hare Krishna. Next thing I'm going to the famous city of San Francisco. And it was so adventurous. I was, the breeze was on me. I was going up and down, when we got there, I was going up and down these, huge streets and hills and, So anyway, that evening, I had my first taste ever of halava, and it was unbelievable and quite an experience for me. And I just, oh my gosh, I love this, halava. And I shaved up that evening. The next morning, we're in the Berkeley Temple, about 300 or 400 of us, devotees, packed tight. And we were all waiting for Prabhupada to come into the room. And everyone was chanting japa. And there was the hum of chanting japa. And all of a sudden, from the corner of the room, the curtain opened. And I'm not exaggerating. It was literally, when Prabhupada stepped out, first of all, I could tell this person was not from this world. Like Jesus Christ said, I'm in this world, but I'm not of it. You could see that this personality, he was, words can almost not express. He was definitely not from this world. I was so struck that I fell to my knees and I started crying like a baby. I just knew that he was that personality that had come to deliver me. I was overwhelmed with emotion. And then Srila Prabhupada walked through the devotees. They made an opening pathway for him, and he walked. I could see he was very small, materially speaking, but he was, as one woman recounted years later, that he was oceanic. He was so powerful, And this Vyasa-san appeared to be like Mount Everest for him. And he literally, he was climbing up to get on this Vyasa-san. This stately gentleman, but not a gentleman of this world, clearly a completely transcendental spiritual personality. So he got on the Vyasa-san, and you know how Prabhupada's big eyes, and he'd look around the room, and as he put on his cartels and wrapped them very purposefully around each finger, and then he began to chant, Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Now, by this time, the entire atmosphere of that room was completely surcharged with spiritual energy. I was in the spiritual world. So this was my experience of Srila Prabhupada. Oh, I don't know if I mentioned that when he came out from that curtain, I am not exaggerating, it was like the sun had entered the room. The room just filled with light when Prabhupada stepped out of that curtain. That's another reason I knew he wasn't an ordinary personality, because there was just this effulgence that came with him. He was enveloped in it. So the big limousine pulled up in front. We were all waiting for Srila Prabhupada I'm back in Los Angeles, and Srila Prabhupada's coming to the temple. He got out of a big black limousine. Devotees were throwing flower petals in the pathway. Mataji's from up above, throwing flower petals. Urjasvat was standing near him, trying to assist. He had a garland in his hand or something, maybe, I can't remember. And of course, there's footage of all this. But so Prabhupada walked through the middle of the temple room, and he walked over to the front of the altar and waited for the deity doors to open. They opened. Srila Prabhupada offered prostrated obeisances to each set of deities. Then he went and got on his Vyasa-san, and he gave, I don't remember the sequence. Was it Guru Puja first and then class, or class and Guru Puja? I don't remember. But what struck me that I'll always remember is during Guru Puja, the devotee was singing Sri Guru Charana Padma, and it was, for about half of the kirtan, we were pretty much just, all of us were just like rocking back and forth, maybe like a slight Swami step, the whole room. And Prabhupada's looking out at the room. At one point he went like this. He went like this. When he did that, it was like the whole temple room, all the devotees became ecstatic, and we all just jumped up and we were all dancing. All of us were just dancing madly and wildly. And I was thinking, how powerful is this personality that he just, with one little tiny motion of his palm, the whole temple room went nuts. When I've seen videos of Srila Prabhupada, like on YouTube, movies, Acharya, whatever, if anyone observes Srila Prabhupada, that he was the embodiment of devotion, and that down to the tiniest detail. And we've heard that Prabhupada, even on his desk, that he would have a place for his pen. And it was when he picked that pen up, everything was for Krishna. Every movement, every word, every glance, it was all divinely inspired he was completely directed by Krishna, and you could totally experience and feel that just observing anyone. I think anyone, even a materialist, if they go and look at footage of Srila Prabhupada, his movements are not those of an ordinary man of this world. They're divine, and that's so powerful. An impression in the mind. To see someone whose every single word, every breath, every movement, every glance, everything that he did was for Krishna. It's just so attractive. Je anilo premadana koruna prachu